Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Youth Development Council in Barbados does not think the newly launched anti-violence campaign is well placed to reduce crime. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 7th September 2021. Details when we return.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. President of the Barbados Youth Development Council, Roshana Trim, wants to see more action to tackle crime, and she's not convinced that the newly launched anti-violence campaign is well placed to do so. More in this Barbados Today news story.
There is a loud accusation that is common in a lot of what we are receiving, which is that the rollout and the unveiling of the bus stop in many ways is tone deaf, and it does not respond to the needs of young people at this time. And it begs the question, if young people are so outraged or the backlash is so great from an initiative that is focused at young people in order to respond to a challenge that they're disproportionately affected by, have we truly engaged young people in a way that matters and that is genuine? And while we are not fully aware of what the extent of the project is, anti-violence campaigns have always been attacked as not truly responding to the root causes of gang violence as well as gun crime.
Instead, the BYDC president is suggesting government should focus on the root causes of gang violence and gun crimes.
And we can talk about the root causes: poverty, a lack of job opportunities. Young people, particularly during COVID, perhaps I should say even more so during COVID, are now disproportionately affected by unemployment. We can also discuss the education system and the feeling that it is outdated, needs to be updated, and that too many young people are falling through the cracks of an education system that no longer caters to the 21st century young person. A need for training and greater promotion of training opportunities for young people who are no longer in schools. And additionally, a greater focus, and this has been called for organizations like Let's Unpack It, that says that we need to focus on mental health and well-being in order to protect and preserve the prosperity of our nation, as well as to allow young people to thrive. And so one of the concerns is really, what will the impact of these things be? And how can we roll out an anti-violence campaign that is not supported by young people?
Over 6,000 adolescents had accessed the Pfizer COVID-19 jab since its rollout 1 week ago in Guyana. But while the vaccination numbers are evidently increasing, so are the numbers of new COVID-19 infections. HGP's Kendall Richmond reports.
These sentiments were shared on Friday by the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, during his COVID-19 update. The minister, who was at the time speaking on a number of issues surrounding the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, revealed that the country continues to see an uptick in adolescents accessing the Pfizer vaccine doses.
Right now, we've had 6,020 children who would have received their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine, and yesterday alone in Region 3 and some that we started in Region 9, we would have completed just for yesterday 1,658 doses.
Commencing just last Thursday at the St. Stanislaus College, the adolescent population continues to positively respond to the vaccines, which according to the minister is necessary for the safe reopening of schools. But while the vaccination numbers are steadily increasing in both the adult and adolescent population, so is the number of new COVID-19 cases being recorded daily. This, the minister reminded, is due to the unfortunate presence of the deadly Delta variant circulating in the country.
Today we have had close to 161 cases, new cases, which means that we now have 2,052 active cases across the country.
But while the minister continues to attribute the rise in COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths to the Delta variant, the presence of the variant in the country is yet to be scientifically confirmed. According to Minister Anthony, testing for the Delta variant is nonsensical. In providing a regional breakdown of COVID-19 cases, Minister Anthony revealed that Georgetown continues to lead with a whopping 439 active cases, while Region 3 follows closely behind.
In Region 3, we now have 431 active cases, and Tushin seemed to be a hot spot because we have in Tushin about 47 cases. In Region 4, if we break that down to the East Bank, we have now 298 active cases on the East Bank per se. In the East Coast of Demerara, we have 412 cases. And again, what we are seeing there is that at Better Hope, we have 34 cases, Mount Repose 29 cases.
The minister noted that there will be more cases if persons continue to disregard the protocols that are in place. In addition to washing hands, wearing masks, and sanitizing, vaccination remains one of the leading ways to protect oneself, he said. With the continued rise in cases and hospitalizations, the ministry has begun planning for the possible overcrowding at the COVID-19 hospital. For the HDP 90 News, Kendall Richmond.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Guyana's former president and current leader of the People's National Congress informed his party's hierarchy that he is proceeding on a much-deserved leave of absence. Gordon Mosley of News Source Guyana reports.
Granger also made it very clear in his latest letter that he was not resigning or retiring from the party, but was simply taking what he called a deserved leave of absence for vacation purposes. In the letter seen by News Source, the PNC leader reminded his party colleagues that he was elected as party leader at the Biennial Congress on 4 occasions. He said he has not demitted office and explained that he has not taken any leave since becoming active in politics a decade ago. Mr. Granger said over the past 10 years, he had a steady governmental work schedule as leader of the opposition and as president of Guyana and never took a vacation. He said he intends to spend his vacation leave in Guyana and remains accessible to the party when called upon. A senior official of the party told News Source that Mr. Granger's decision could be viewed as him trying to stay away from discussions relating to the party's biennial delegates Congress, which is overdue. Those discussions for the proposed date of the Congress are scheduled to be held in the coming days. The party's Congress is expected to take place before the end of this year, which will see the election of a leader and executive of the party. Political insiders have told News Source that it is unprecedented and strange for a leader of a political party to take a leave of absence, especially as the party is gearing up for a Congress and internal elections. One political analyst said Mr. Granger may be setting the stage to remove himself from the daily grind of leading the party. He has come under blistering criticism from his party's executive over many decisions made by him in the past year, and has also been accused of ignoring advice of the executive and running a one-man show in the PNC reform.
The opposition United Workers' Party in St. Lucia remains harsh in its criticism of the current SLP government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. An unrelenting Senator Dominic Fede continues to hammer the SLP administration on its response to the fourth wave of the pandemic. Solaj Alfred of HTS News Force reports.
Well, I thought that we were going to come today to debate a very substantive amendment to the COVID-19 bill. But what we see here is a Mickey Mouse effort from the government.
Leader of Opposition Business in the Senate, Dominic Fede, is averse to what he views as ostensible changes on the surface to the COVID-19 Prevention and Control Bill.
Really, I think that changing the name of the institutions that manage COVID is really not going to cut it. We still have close to 2,000 cases. And what we want to see is some real work.
Fede has been a staunch critic of the SLP government's pandemic response, questioning what he argues are signals that constrains law enforcement's ability to uphold COVID-19 protocols. A new section of the COVID-19 bill now makes breach of the act, in essence, a ticketable offense, with fixed penalties. The senator believes the departure from jail time is too lenient and will embolden and not deter would-be violators.
In other aspects of enforcing crime, it hasn't worked. There are hundreds, thousands of unpaid tickets. And so what we see is that there's a lack of enforcement. And whenever people believe that they can get away with stuff, I would imagine that there's not going to be a feeling of obligation to make sure. So I still believe that this is going to weaken the hands of the police.
For his part, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has argued that the pandemic response should be a public health and not a law enforcement matter. Thus, ordinary citizens should not be criminalized. He also points to the need to alleviate the backlog of cases in the criminal justice system. These include minor offenses like non-adherence to mask wearing. However, Fede remains resolute that a strong, clear message must be sent to the public to obey the law and regulations or face the penalty.
Well, at least I believe that approach shows that it's a serious matter. And I think that we're in the middle of the pandemic and we want to do everything we possibly can to encourage the population to be able to comply with the COVID protocols.
The two mainstream parties, which are diametrically at odds on a number of matters of national importance and concern, continue to butt heads on the management of the pandemic. Solaj Alfred, HTS News Force.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now makes it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.